John, you said you watched tape of Jamie Drysdale. When you first live look at him, did he come as advertised?
I didn't even watch him. Didn't even watch him. I knew you guys would.
I know you probably don't want to give him too much information on day one, but
I'm not. I don't have any.
Yeah, just welcoming him and then.
Did you have a chance to talk to him in person?
Yes.
Do you think he'll play tomorrow? Or?
I have no idea.
Putting him with Travis Sanheim today just to take a look and see more for Bradshaw.
Yes.
More for
Today's
Bradshaw.
practice, we had 8D, trying different things. I'm not sure what the pairs are going to be tomorrow. Let the kid play, please. Then ask me questions. You're not going to get out of me in a 30-minute practice. So let's get going here.
Are you happy to see him though? Like in terms of just
Love to see him.
Yeah, young player like you.
Yes, I love to see him.
You touched on this a little bit last night with regards to feeling like, while you're excited to have him and he's going to obviously play and be part of this, you don't think any of the 6 defensemen currently in the lineup deserve to come out, and you might.
You're asking me lineup questions. I don't know what the lineup's going to be.
I'm more asking about the difficulty coming up in terms of making sure everybody gets ice time.
There will be no difficulty when, like I said, when we're in this process of building a team, and you make a deal. Really, no one comes off of our team in the deal. This happens, so we got to figure it out. I don't know how it's all going to work out. You guys are going to see tomorrow night. You're asking a lot of questions you should be asking tomorrow.
Regardless of which defenseman or what the lineup looks like, where do you guys need to be better defensively than you were last night?
Everywhere from last night. It was a struggle on both ends for us last night. We just did not play well. And give Pittsburgh credit. They're playing pretty well, have been playing pretty well since the break. We did not play well.
John, it looked like Kennedy and Lawton were showing Drysdale a couple things during a drill. How fit do you think your locker room is to welcome in a player mid-season and to get him up to speed?
The locker room is thrilled that he's here. I think some players have voiced their thoughts on the deal. I got texts all night long about the character of this kid. So he's going to fit in just right with this group. So they're really, and some of them know him. So that's a good thing. So it'll be a lot easier for him to transition because he knows a few of the guys.
You talked about how Anaheim plays different defensively than you guys do.
Yes.
How difficult is that process of getting him up to speed with your system? And is it a sort of thing that you can teach him, or does he just have to go out there and play?
No, it's a man-on-man versus a zone. You know, there's only so many ways you can play defense in the league. So watching the tape, it looks like a strict man-on-man for them. I don't, in conversations with him, I don't think he's played much zone. Bright kid. There's not a there'll be some situations he won't understand, but I think he'll get through it really quickly, and we'll live with some of the mistakes as we teach him our coverage.
About a month ago, Forster had a nice little offensive surge. It's been a month again since he scored a goal. Do you see Tyson pressing at all?
I see a number of guys pressing, Forrest being one of them. We're just not getting enough offense out of people in spurts during games, in spurts as far as game to game. I think teams are defending us differently or defending us stronger as far as our transition. We've talked about that. It lends itself to more forechecking. We're just inconsistent there. I thought at times last night we generated a lot of offense in a 2 or 3 minute span, but it's just not consistent enough. So not just Tyson, a number of guys are.
You've talked about this season that just given the nature of the team that you guys are going to have highs, you guys are going to have lows. On Saturday, you guys played a great game. It was an emotional game. Were you surprised that the team, didn't have its best game the game after that strong performance?
It's the National Hockey League. You have good ones, you have fair ones, you have bad ones. It's all over the map for all teams. I'm not surprised. I thought we ended up settling ourselves down after the first period, after taking 5 penalties in the first period. Settle ourselves down. They score 2 goals, wristers from the blue line that happen all the time in the game. They just happen to find their way. We have some chances. He makes a key save. The third one, because it's kind of a nothing play. It ends up in our net. That kind of, I think we lost a little momentum there. it's still 2-1 at that time. We settled ourselves down. We had a couple of chances, just the way the game was played. We just couldn't find our way. And again, give the opposing team, like I say, every time a team loses, the coach says his team sucks. I don't think our team sucked. I don't think we were good I think we were inconsistent on both ends, but we still have a chance. Give Pittsburgh credit. They defend pretty well, too. So we'll have tape at 10 o'clock. I think it's time that we need to touch upon some things in both zones, really all 3 zones. We'll show a tape at 10 and get ready to play our next game.
You talked a lot about Bradshaw and his ability to teach the game and how smart he is at that. From your perspective, having someone as good a teacher as Brad is, breaking into defenseman midstream like this, how good is that for you to know that he's going to get brought up to speed the right way?
He's the best in the business as far as teaching, as far as I'm concerned. I've watched him. Well, we've been together now for 7 years. I've watched how he handles the back end. I think where Brad has evolved is it's not all the information at once. When him and I first started, I think we were both that way. We want to give him all the information. I think he'll know when to give him this and give him that. I think it'll be a two-way conversation with Jamie and listen to him a little bit. I have full confidence in Bradshaw in handling this kid and going over the things that need to be go over at the proper time. Proper time is a very important point in that.
Before the start of the season, Sean Kutsui was close.
Who?
Sean Kutsui was almost 2 years without playing hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Impressed with the type of hockey Sean is giving.
Very. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure where he'd be. Quite honestly, before he started playing, he was just a pain in my ass. There was complaints about this, complaints about that. He was just miserable because he wasn't playing. As he started playing, we have such great athletes. That's all they want to do is play, right? And he has. I've watched him. When I watched the first couple of weeks, I said, "Oh my God, is he that slow?" And I keep on watching him, and I don't think he's slow. I just have a different respect for him as I see him day in and day out. When you're afar with another team and you watch a guy and you know he's a good player, you really don't see really what he is. I watch him every day. I watch the intangibles he brings. I'm very, very happy and a little bit surprised how quickly he's gotten a lot of things back in his game. And there's more there, and I think Sean knows that. But I'm impressed how he's handled himself.
John, this is a little bit bigger picture of a question, so I understand if you don't want to go into it. But you mentioned last night that you and Brad had watched tape of Jamie before the trade happened.
Mm-hmm.
Last summer, there was a lot of talk about the triumvirate of leadership with you, Jonesy, and Danny. Were you and Brad, involved in the decision-making process in terms of like them running it by you guys to see if you guys thought that you could turn Drysdale into a really good player?
Were we
in terms of making the trade?
Oh yeah, there was conversation. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, but it was basically Danny, myself, Jonesy had conversations. I brought Brad Shaw into it. Had Brad look at tape. We all looked at tape. Yeah, I mean, it's not. The deal didn't surprise me in the middle of the game like it did you guys. This has been going on for quite a while, and there's been constant conversation about where we go with this situation for well over 5 or 6 months here now. So, yeah. So it's one thing, Danny Briere. It's a question. We go to Danny as a coaching staff. I know Rock has gone to Danny and has met with him like once a week or once every to talk about the power play. Danny played it. Danny's lived it. So that's the way this group is working. There are no walls here. We all communicate with one another, and we're trying to bring Danny and Jonesy into the hockey stuff too when we think need be. So that's what I've said it. That's what I love about this organization. We got some young blood here, and Danny's got some jam as far as not being afraid to do the right things to build this. And we're using him, he's using us. That's what's so fun about it.
Talking about the man-to-man versus playing
Zone.
Thank you. Playing zone. A very big difference between playing when to release, when not to release guys. As a coach, do you prefer watching the tape or watching or just playing and whatever happens in the game, and he'll get it and learn it?
No, Jackie. We've already shown him a few clips this morning. Tomorrow is going to be quite a bit of our because we gave up a number of chances last night in our end zone, so he'll be able to see that. So yeah, I mean, I think sometimes with all these analytics and all the numbers and this and that, we think this is a confusing game. It really isn't. Again, I'm dead against the man-on-man. We're going to teach him our game. There is a difference for sure, but I don't think it's going to be something that he's going to be scratching his head. I said, man, I've never done that. I'm not sure if I can. It's going to be an easy transition for him. Biggest thing is he can skate. He can get to areas, and that's a huge thing in transition. Zone coverage, I think, just transitions into offense quickly. I think it's going to really help his game in understanding the way we play so we can get going offensively.
Defensive commitment is not the easiest thing to pitch for a young team. Your team has good defensive numbers this year. What's the challenge to sell this to your team, the importance of this defensive play, or is it a consequence of the commitment?
We did it every freaking day last year because we felt we needed to. That was one of the when I interviewed for the job, that was one of the things that was brought to my attention quite a bit, and then I watched the team, and I'm certainly not criticizing any other coach prior to me, but we needed to protect our goalies better in understanding coverages, and we did it and did it and did it last year. We have made a transition into the other part of the game this year, no pun intended, into the transition part of the game offensively. But I think our guys have, I think it's ingrained in them how we play defense. And I think that lends itself to having decent numbers. I think we've gotten a little sloppy in that area. That's why tomorrow is going to be a big part of our meeting, is to get back to how we, to me, it's just stopping plays. It's killing plays before they keep on playing. I just thought Pitt played too much in our end zone where we could have stopped plays. Our guys understand it. It's actually pretty good timing with Jamie coming in here. He's going to see a lot of clips tomorrow that's going to define how we play.